Hello and howdy. Hello, hello. Welcome to UI Wednesdays with Alyssa. Sorry for the delay. Was trying to get set up after recording a podcast that went late. So today, as you can probably imagine, we're going to be discussing UI. It's crazy. It's crazy, I know. Okay, it's my first day back after the holiday weekend. A bit rusty, but let's share the screen and talk about what we're going to tackle this afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you're from. Okay, let's share this and put that over there. But yeah, tell me in the chat, how have you been? It's been a week or two. Thinking is really not my strong suit at this point. But no, tell me how you've been, what you've been up to. It's so good to see you all popping in. It was a good 4th of July. It was a bit different, of course, this year it would be not being able to go out and see like live fireworks in a big crowd, but it's still good to see some family and get to hang out with friends. And let's share this one. I'm going to close that. Okay. And I think we're good to share the screen. So let's try it. Share, yeah. So here we have, as you might be shocked to find out, today we are tackling another CSS challenge on 100 days of CSS. And if you refresh the page and just go to if you just route there, then you will see something totally different. I guess this is number 46. So instead of tackling this, I thought it would be super fun because whenever I went back a couple days. So it says day index equals 35, or you can go over and make sure that it says number 36. But yes, I loved this trick that I learned back in the day whenever I was first learning CSS. My husband showed me it at the time. We were just dating in college, and he was like, look what you can do. So you might be looking at this tab strip and be thinking, that looks like it's JavaScript. But you can actually do this with radio buttons. And I don't know what this is called. It is the radio button trick. But essentially, this without JavaScript is by using inputs and that are radio buttons, and whenever they're checked, you basically select some sibling content and like display that content, and then of course they're adding a nice fade in and move up animation. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this really, really cool trick. And I would love to see if any of you have so comment in the chat if any of you have ever used this before, because it's actually, I don't know, like the first time I saw it, I was like, no, JavaScript? Like it was amazing. So I'm just gonna go over here on again, if you wanted to follow along or create your own 100dayscss.com. And then we just jumped forward, day index equals 35 or number 36. And then I'm just going to, you can see what others have created down here. So these are from, I'm assuming the last time the round was up. But we're just going to go ahead and open a template. And it's like super large font, but let me know if you are having issues, and make sure you stay hydrated, everyone. Okay. So we are starting off with an empty iframe, a happy coding paragraph. If we go down here to our SCSS, we have a open sans import, and then some beautifulness that's talking to this iframe, which if I give it I think 7F, or is it F7? Yeah, it's 7F. If I give it a background color, you can see it a little bit better. There we go. What size we're working with. And this just, of course, is so that these demos are A, bite size, and that B, whenever you re-import them to show off to the world your CSS challenge, they look beautiful. They're beautifully displayed down here. And I actually don't know why on there, these are font awesome icons that aren't showing up. So I'm not sure why their icons aren't showing up, but we'll see how far we get. We might put like emojis there or something. So the first thing to do is to actually build out said tab area. Our tab module. I feel really boring today. We're gonna call it tabs. Okay, so our CSS, and we're gonna put that below line 32, and then we're just gonna collapse this stuff because essentially this is centering everything, which is nice. If I need to get rid of it, I will. So there you go. But yeah, let me know if you're following along and if you've ever done this before. I want to hear about it. I will share your news about Radiobutton tricks to the world. So let me know in the chat if you've done this before. But we're going to start by building out a beautiful tab component. I feel like that's too angular-y. Okay. Sometimes starting markup can be the hardest thing. Tab. This is going to be horrible. Y'all are going to hate it so much. Oh, that didn't. Oh, I'm still in the CSS. You ever do that? Totally wrong file. That's fine. Oh, I need to give this a name too. I like to name it after CSS challenge. Whoa. Number 36. 36. Woo. That seems not very semantic. Let's do longest name ever. You're welcome. Radio button trick. That's a little better. Okay. So now we're back up in here. We're going to get rid of happy coding, and we have div of center. I guess, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do what I think I should do, and you all can feel free to correct me. So tabs wrapper, tab component. I don't know why I just got a New York accent all of a sudden. Because it's that kind of day, right? Okay. Do class tab component. Let's go ahead because I want to see that. I want to see that, buddy. Tab component. If only I knew how to spell component. You ever have to like sound things out? Woo. Background. I don't know. Random color generator. Yes, that's actually what I'm Googling right now because I'm hex code generator. Sick. Shut the front door. Whoa. Wait, generate color, clear field. What? I don't understand what clear field does. It just gets rid of the color? Oh, you can keep generating colors. Oh, shut the front door. That's kind of cool. That purple's nice. There's a lot of purples and blacks. There's a pink. Shout out your favorite hex, BT dubs, if you're watching and you're like, just do this color. I'm usually like a really nice gray. CCC, anyone? Woof. Let's see. Actually, if you all haven't seen Una Kravitz's latest tweet, this person. A, she's amazing. Okay, B, it probably wasn't her latest tweet, apparently. She did this blog post, and I haven't read it yet, but OMG. It's about, we're just going to go there. We're just going to look at it. We're going to be crazy. Y'all feeling crazy? It's Wednesday. Come on now. Half the week is gone. Woo. Is this my network? Is this web.dev? What is going on? We're going to go back to the tweet about it. It loaded earlier, so I know it exists and it's a real thing. But these colors right here that got like auto plumped in, well, not auto. Anyways, we are going to color pick them because they made me so happy earlier today. And so I think they're the colors we should use on our website. A mini CSS example trick. Okay, so I always have to look this up because I get CSS variables and SAS variables mixed up. CSS, I think it's just $. CSS variables. And going down, finding. Why do I have to scroll so much? This is not what I want. Brown. Oh, it's dash. I think I was thinking the other one. Dash. Do I want to do that or do I want to use sassy variables? Anybody? Nobody? Hello, am I talking? So we had this funny joke on the podcast earlier today where I was talking about how I do live events, and often, even if I'm like giving away like a Switch or an Amazon gift card, like you can't get people to type in the chat, which is bizarre to me. Because like who doesn't want to Switch? But it's just so funny because we were like, maybe people put on, the Twitch show, the Twitch show, and then they put their cat in front of it or something and they go off. It's like to entertain them. So if there's just, cats watching me right now, hello and welcome to my show. And I'm sorry that you can't type because it must be a real bummer. But if you're a human and you have thumbs, I want to hear, should we use SAS variables or CSS variables? And you might be going, what the heck is the difference? Well, for our purposes, today, there is no difference. It's just going to be syntax. So what do you want to stare at? Wow, that is some big font. Yeah. So SAS variables use the $, like this, $variable, and then you say $variable. And then CSS variables, which their big deal is that they hang out after interpolation. That's probably the wrong word. Essentially, if you want to modify a CSS variable afterwards with like JavaScript or something, after everything is rendered in the DOM, then that CSS variable will maintain its state, which is probably why we need this ugly var. But since it doesn't matter today, I'm probably just going to use, what about doggos? Oh, you're right. Sorry. Okay. This is really funny, Mr. Cool Boy, because that was exactly what my friend Uri Shickhead said on today's podcast. He goes, I was like, cats are just watching. And he was like, cats are dogs. And I'm like, oh, right. Because I have a dog and I love dogs. So yeah, you're right. It could be doggos watching. Hello to all the doggos. I still want to hear if you're a cat, a dog, or a human, or a hamster, if you want a SAS or CSS variable, or what you reach for in your pocket. I think we're just going to use SAS because I don't need to grab it with JavaScript. We're actually doing a hashtag no JavaScript Wednesday. I should rename the show, right? So we're just going to use this because it's a simpler syntax, but I would love to hear your thoughts, darlings. So we're going to go down to our CSS, and then I'm going to say all reusable variables, which should be like really obvious based on the fact that they're there. Okay, so I think it was what color was it that I grabbed? Was it blue? It was a blue. Blue. And back to the Twitters. I don't know what's going on with web.dev. I'd like to think it's all of my millions of fans watching right now, and we all went to the article at the same time and crashed their site. But let me and all the doggos watching the show and the one cat did not crash web.dev. So I don't know what's going on with it. Back over to our codes. This one is orange. And we're going to close this web.dev. I don't know what's going on with it. It was working like an hour ago when I pulled it up. So pick color. Let's grab that yellow. These are gorgeous. Una. Sorry, I think I said her name wrong earlier. It's not Una, it's Una. It's really hard to remember. Okay. And yellow. And so thank you, darling, for these gorgeous colors that we're stealing today. I think that's purple. You can totally tell me if there's so many times that people will be like, that is not orange. And I'm like, really? What color do you see? Oh, so I'd love to know if I've totally gone wrong. So let's go with, I'm just going to randomly pick. Let's do the blue. Blue, please. And I want for everything. So I guess I'll call out the body. Body color. And I'm just going to make it an off-white for right now, but we can discuss as we go further into the future. Tab components. So I need to see the tab component, and we haven't given it like a width or height or content or anything like that. So we're not actually seeing anything. Width of 100 pixels, please. And let's change this to height. Woo, woo. Beautiful. Okay, back over here. I think these are rounded edges. I need to, okay, I'm going to make it just really insanely big. Are those rounded? I actually can't. No, they're not rounded. We're rounding ours. But like barely. Border radius of 2 pixels. You're like, is it even worth it? Yeah, it's worth it. Okay. So we've got something. Let's actually do this just for now. But let's populate it. Tab component. So we have on our example that is now literally the size of life. Let's make it like, I don't know, 150%. That should look decent. Looks decent. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs plus. That doesn't do anything. I'm like, I don't know why I should not clicking. I want to actually go to the examples. Yeah, they just did 4, 3 tabs. Okay. This one. Did you make this button do anything? No. Okay. Pip, pip. All right. So 4 tabs is what it looks like. This is where it gets spicy because at this point, semantically, when planning, I have purple ink on my hands. I would probably be like, okay, let's create our inputs that are radio buttons, and let's give them labels, and then let's give them a wrapper, and then let's create the content and give that a wrapper. But because of this trick that we're about to talk about, it has to be in a really, like, it needs to be in a specific order and siblings and such like that. So let's just get into displaying the trick, and then we can, once we understand the mechanics of that, then we can go ahead and dive further into like how should we create our markup in such a way that it's, well, not really, really ugly, but also it still works with the trick. So let's just make it happen. We'll make 2 quick radio buttons. Let me see if this still looks okay on stream. If I make it that size, I think the font's okay. Holler back if it's too tiny, and I can make it a bit bigger. Pip, pip. Okay. So let's do boop, boop, boo. Looking good. Tab component. Input. Type of squeak, squeak. Radio. Tab 1, and then it needs to match the label. So let's tab 1, and then I just want to see something. So match the ID of the important thing is that our ID of our input matches the 4 of our label. And that is gorgeous, might I say. Let's make 2 of these. I'm going to make you so beautiful. Oof, I need to make this a little bit. There we go. So we're not on 2 lines. Tab 2 and tab 2. Oh, what the heck. We're going to get crazy. We're going to make all of them. And tab 3, matching IDs and 4s. Yeah. Tab 4. And at this point, you don't actually see the labels because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. We could. So if I go over and show this example, we could use Font Awesome to show icons. Thinking. What do I want to do? We could use emojis, which is kind of my go-to. I always Google copy emoji. I think I just like bookmark this page. And then delicious water. Make sure to hydrate, everyone. Pip, pip. And then I just click on the emojis and copy what I need. So let's talk about what we want this cool radio button trick to be. All right, vote on it if you know. I'm going to pick some of my top used emojis. I think one of the most is clap. I always use clap. Is it putting in my copy bar? It is. It's putting it down here. So we're just going to plop these on the labels real quick so that we actually see something. Let's make this a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit happier. And we need some other emojis. Plop your favorite emoji in the chat, and I will make sure to sub out one of these. I know clap is boring, but it's kind of like a family heritage thing. I like clap all the time. Kind of a problem. Okay, tab 1, 2, 3, 4. So essentially, when you click on the label, the matching word for it, the matching input. Wow. Woof. That was painful. When you click on the label, the matching input will be selected, but you might be thinking, oh no, they're all selected right now. It is because we don't have names. So they don't know about each other. So if we give them all the same name, which I think the name belongs to the input, question mark? Always forget. Yeah, no, it's the input. So if you give all of the inputs the same name, which in this case would be name equals radio button. Oh, that's rough. This one. Why are you so angry at me? I'm missing a quote. Quote. Good. Save. Okay, so now that we've given them all the same name, they should all be associated with each other, kind of like grouped, if you will. And so as we click through them, and so I've selected tab 1, but if I select tab 4, it will untoggle the selected one. So we can only have one selected at a time, which is what we want to get that tabbed behavior. Awesome. Okay, minimum width. Let me think of how do I want this? So I want them obviously in a row. I have to become better at thinking out loud and not in my head. I want them to be in a row because we're going for this tab strip look. However, my first instinct would be, hey, wrap these all together and say like display flex and just put them in a row, right? And align them to the left, give them a set width. But painfully, we need these right here to be siblings to the content So I can't give them their own wrapper. I think I can still do the display flex thing. Maybe. I'm like really not that great at planning 5 steps ahead, which is why, chess is not the best idea for me. I think like three steps ahead in a game or web, UI looking like is as far as I can go. And then I just have to kind of rework as we go. So we're going to give, what was a tab component display. Whoa, what are those letters? Display flex, and then justify content. What is it, like start the thing? Is it going to give me, or is it left? Feel free to shout out the answer if you know it. Flex CSS tricks. I always have to look it up. Water. Flex direction, which we're using row by default. Flex start. Ha! I was close. I was so close, but start's not a thing. It's flex start, which we're not seeing it right now because I have dish. I want you to go away forever. Did it? Sometimes it doesn't re-render. Oh, I need to say like no wrap or something on the labels, I think. Label. What is it? Text wrap. I really don't know if this is the thing that I want. No wrap? Is it no dash wrap? Watch it like be nothing. Nothing like that. Text wrap CSS. Word wrap. Wait, what? Is it word wrap or overflow wrap? Overflow wrap, break word, inherit normal. Is this what I want? What? Okay, let's go back up and look at. So it says normal is the default. The browser will break lines according to normal line breaking rules. Break words or strings of characters that are too large to fit inside their container will break in arbitrary places. Inherit, the targeted element must inherit the value of overflow wrap. I'm surprised that there's not like a none. Okay, hang on. No wrap on text CSS. I know this is a thing. White space, no wrap? Is this what we want? Hey, okay, let's just try it. Let's just be crazy. I don't know if my mouse is dying or if it's just my computer, but sometimes my mouse is like way over there. White space, no wrap. Was there a dash? Gosh darn it. I should have paid more attention. White space gets a dash. No wrap doesn't get a dash because CSS. Right? There we go. That's what we want. Now that's gorgeous. Okay. So we have our radio buttons. They are associated with each other. They are in a row. We need margin, padding. Don't know yet what I want, so I'm just throwing something on there. Oh, good lordy. That's not what I want. Let's do 5. Top, right, bottom, left. So let's do 0, 5 on both. Margin and padding. Okay. And let's give them a background color so we can see what the heck's going on. Background. And we're going to use one of our variables. Go down the list. And we can modify it later if we're like, what have we built? This monstrosity. Okay. Top right, bottom left. Yeah, I did that. I did that right. So when we click on perfect. I don't know why it's so tall. I'm going to open my inspector. Oof, chilly hands. Why are you so tall? Who said, hey, you, be that tall? Is it the... No, it's not the line height that's being inherited. I don't know why you're so tall. Input. Wonder if it's what's happening on center. I don't think so, because we're just positioning everything to be in the center and then making up for the difference of the like 50% of the width. I don't know why this is happening. Let's just like give it... Oh, my font is super tiny now. Label max height. What does that look like? Gorgeous. It's everything I've ever wanted. For some reason they were like being 100% height by default. I don't know if that's a thing. It seems like it's not a thing. Okay. Next thing is we need to actually... Turtle says it's a flex thing. So like by default, something inside of a flex row will be 100% its height. What? Yep. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks, Flex. Love you. And thanks, Turtle. We learned something today. Whoop. Now we need to do the magic, because I know... Yeah, and this is my gallon jug of water I've been working on today. So if you didn't hear me earlier, make sure you're hydrating, yo. No espresso does not count. Okay, right. We're going to make it beautiful in a moment. I just want to show this tab trick working. So essentially we have these tabs. They're all related to each other. They're activating the inputs. Before we hide our inputs and go about our merry styling away, let's create some content that will be toggled based on the active checked input. So let's make our CSS a little bit smaller, a little bit. Let's see. We've got our tab component. So we want to be inside of this. And, sorry, my mouse is being a little slow today. I don't know why. I don't know. It's probably, they're like, change the batteries. And I'm like, I did that like 3 days ago. I feel like should not go through mouse batteries. And yeah, I have the ghetto one that you have to put batteries in. Okay, let's create, this one can have wrapper, content wrapper. Yeah. Tab component, content wrapper. Now we need just essentially content that we want. So I know it's horrible. You're like, class of content, who does that? I know. Content piece 1, maybe. Sure, that sounds legit. I have this song called Bloody Valentine stuck in my head again. Love that song. Okay, we're going to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make this a little bit wider because we don't like the word wrap. Obviously, we said white space, no wrap. 3, 4. Okay, and they have these beautiful... Let's save this real quick. these beautiful, what do you call them? Pseudo lorem ipsum. What did everyone else do? This person created some purple lines. I think everyone for sure gave a header. So let's make for our, when we're, goodness, do you ever look up and you've got like a million tabs open and you're like, how did that happen? We're going to close out some of them. I might need my emoji one. I definitely need the flex open. Okay, we're cool. So let's give some headings because we know for sure. And I'm going to select with command click all of these spots and type H1, H1, H2, H1, H2, H1. Let's do H1. Oh, why did that not work? Oh, bother. Good the bother. That like usually works. But I usually do VS Code. Okay. We have a new line and then all of a sudden they collapse together. So we're going to reselect where I want to type. That's so weird. H1 and tabbing doesn't work either. Well, scrap that shortcut. We're going to just type it out manually. Okay, let's double check the chat, make sure nobody's given me emojis. You haven't, because again, of course, you're cats or doggos that don't have thumbs. Therefore, you have no abilities to type. Let's make this match what we're saying. Tab 1 header, super boring. Woo! We need to style our headers, apparently. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Content wrapper. Why do I have so much space in here? I don't know. The shrug. Thanks, Turtle. I need to go and find the shrug. I'm a person and I'm shrugging. I wish there was a turtle shrugging. That would be much better. There we go. I'm going to use the guy shrug because you're turtle guy and you submitted it. Copy, go back over to our codes, and we're going to go up and make the second one. So the first one is things I'm excited about. This is too long of a title. Excited. This one is going to be, whoa. I've broken all the things. I need to get rid of just that part. Confused. The copy went horribly wrong, and it's giving me like the metadata for the emoji. Oh, thank you, Mr. Cool Boy. We've got blushing. Okay, let's go back and try to re-grab this. What the fudge? What did I do wrong? Paste it again. Yeah, it keeps doing that. Yeah, and okay, well, it's fine. We're just going to leave it in there. Whoops. And actually, let's put names. Turtle guy, turtle. Like, can I spell turtle? I don't know. Okay. Speedo girl is my gamer tag. And Mr. Cool Boy gets, what is it called? Blush. Let me find it. Where is it? I will find it. Maybe. Man, I'm really bad at this game. Like if this was a game to like find the emoji the fastest, I would fail epically. I'm used to just typing the name of the emoji. Third row. Thank you. Thank you, darling. There it is. That was so hard. I don't know why it was so hard, but it was. Okay. Here we go. We still have room for one more. So if anyone out there is like, this one, you're obviously missing this one. Okay. We have some overflow problems. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is, because all of this is listening to the flex row property that we gave right here. We said display flex, and by default, it is going to be a row. However, we don't want all of our headers and other content in that. So we're going to take content wrapper. Oh, how to do this. My first instinct would say, hey, let's make sure content wrapper is, whoa, I can't spell, display, and make it column. And all of it needs to be column though. Do I need to do positioning? Let me think. Thinking, okay, well, first of all, let's get display flex and then flex direction. Just for right now, I'm going to stack these on top of each other. Column. Oh, we should replace that pink too. Flex direction column. So it's stacking those up. Oh, I don't know what I want to do with these because I can't give them a wrapper. It's so funny. It's like my brain is used to them. White space. Display flex. I'm gonna give the outer tab component column, just so we can at least see everything for right now. If there was a flex wrap property, if only there was a flex wrap property. Yeah, but then I would need it to wrap. I'm trying to think, because I would be like, basically, okay, I want everything to be in a row except for the content wrapper, and so I need to wrap once you hit the content wrapper. Like that's not a thing. Like I guess it could be like at this, like give each one of the tabs like an exact width and be like, you take up like 25%, and so then like 100% would be filled. Maybe okay, we could try that. Let's try it, and let me know if there's a better way. But tab component label, let's say width of 25%, and then flex wrap. It's wrap. And then I don't want column anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I want it to be a row. I want overflow scroll to be a thing. I don't actually know if that's gonna mess this up while I look at it. Oh wait, I put it on the wrong thing, maybe? Yeah. Let's put it on our body? No. Our center. Just gonna start slapping it on, people. Or actually I could just open up the Chrome tools. I want to scroll so I can see this and see what's happening. I think things are too tall. Content wrapper. Is it overflow scroll? That's a thing. I'm not making this up. Why? Is it because you don't have a set height? 100 pixels. There you go. Now you do. And now it's working. It's because I didn't have a height. I couldn't tell you right now which one it is, but I know I say it wrong like about 50% of the time. So, okay. I think it's really funny that when I open up the inspector, the font size of the code pin changes. Like I don't. It's weird. Okay. Hi, Anna. Is that an emoji or just a Twitch thing? If you're just now joining us, I'm still in need of one more emoji for our CSS trick radio button thing that we're displaying. Basically, how to create tab components with no JavaScript using radio buttons only. Okay, so it's a Twitch one. Womp womp. Okay, so content wrapper. First things first, I don't think my labels are listening to the 25% or if they are, let's see, width of 25%. 25% of what? Tab component? Tab component is, wow, I can't read that. I can't read that because things are in the way. Tab component is 200 wide. Therefore, 200 divided by 4 is 50. So if I say width of 25% to the labels, that's the input. 60. Is it because I'm not doing border box? And so it's taking margin into account? Hang on, darlings. 1 second. We'll get back on track. Border box. How the fudge do you set border box? I'm thinking of the thing the value I need to set it to, not the property. Border box CSS. Which I'm sure this is already being set by default, right? Box sizing border box. Go back to, ooh, that mouse. I got to figure out what's going on with it. Box sizing, border box. What is your width? 50! Opa! I can do the thing in CSS where I set a width and it actually, the math checks out. Like, that's really sad. That's really sad. Okay. Let's get rid of the margin and padding for now. And I want the width. Yes. So I'm going to go back up to, we're going to close our inspector, go back down to our label and set, what was it? Box sizing. Border box. Is it? Yeah. I'm always like, there's a dash, there's no dash. I know we just typed it, but I don't know. Yeah, there's a dash in both. So you'd say like, yeah, it's CSS. You're always going to do a dash. And then you look at something like no wrap and you're like, I give up on ever understanding life. What are you working on today? I'm glad you asked, Anna. Today we are working on the number 36 CSS challenge, where we make these tabs work with no JavaScript. We're only going to use some radio buttons and CSS to make this magic happen. So, which is the only way that I know of to do it outside of JavaScript. So yeah, we went to this and said day index of 35, or scroll backwards to day number 36. Open the template and follow along. So, I mean, yes, this doesn't look anything like that, but we're getting there. Okay, so label max height. I don't think, did I give the tab component a width? We didn't. Let's do that. Oh, cool. Yeah, responsive is fun. Maybe. Sorry, I'm answering what Anna said, which I'll put that on screen. They just started learning responsive design at college. It's kind of, I don't know, it's the only way that I was ever taught, which I guess I'm blessed, because when I started learning how to do CSS and learning how to do styles, it was like you are always conscious of all the sizes, and any code that you like put out, or any UI that you design, like it has to work on any size. And so I think the only thing I've never done is like watch design for something that small, but basically everything else I tried to make my designs compatible with. So okay, so we're going to give a minimum width of 300 pixels, and then we're giving our labels. I don't want to do, I don't need margin and padding right this very moment. Max height, sure. Box size, box, width of 25%. What am I missing? I think I'm missing the fact that we haven't said display none to our inputs. Input type of radio. So essentially we're going to do this and they'll go away, and then we'll have our tabs up here, which will be beautifully designed. Let's want a couple of things. First, we need a different color than the hot pink. The hot pink. Did I put it on iframe? I did. Oh, what am I doing? Use the variable yellow. Cool. Now let's go down. I'm going to recollapse center and recollapse iframe and get rid of some extra business here. And I don't think we're using scroll anymore. Tab component, display, yes. And, there's also this button, Format CSS, which when I did a class last week, if you want to, you can let Flex calculate the label widths like you were doing before, giving just the content wrapper 100% width. Should be enough to force it on its own row. It's a really good idea. I love that. I think that's beautiful, and that's exactly what we will do. So we still want to say display flex. Flex starts fine. We do want to wrap. And now instead of giving the labels a specific, I missed what you said earlier, something about following along with the template. How do I do that? Yeah, I'm actually just going to share the link, which I think should work since we're not on YouTube. Sometimes I do podcasts on YouTube, and YouTube always strips out the URLs. So you're like, that's fun. Turtle, would you be for or against me putting box size border box just like on the body? Is that bad? Question mark. I mean, it's how I kind of expect things to work. It's calculating math. Oh yes, Anna, but that is the link to the challenge for the day, and you can click on open template and it'll start with a blank template, which is how we started. And then this isn't the actual challenge for the day. We scrolled to find this one because I wanted to show the radio button trick. But usually whenever, I don't know, since it's not like today is not day number 36. I don't know if it'll let you submit your pin, but usually if you're doing the challenge of the day, you have like so much time to submit your pin URL, and then it'll show up down below along with everyone else's. So sometimes on UI Wednesdays, I like to walk through a CSS challenge. Turtle said, box sizing, border box is one of the few things I apply to everything. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm wondering if I should do it to everything or just also, like, if you don't know, if you're new to CSS, asterisk is selecting everything on the page. It's not that heavy of a selector, meaning, because of the cascading nature of CSS, if I say body, it's a little bit more specific. If I say body with a class of my body, these styles are going to be even more specific, and so they will override or have more points. The everything selector has 0 points, so it is very easily overridden, and it will apply to everything. I think I'm okay with saying color to everything. I don't know. I just don't need my body selector at this moment in my life. So as Turtle suggested, setting right here on let's scroll down to our tab component. We have display flex set on our tab component, and we're saying, I want you to justify the content to flex start, aka the left edge. By default, it's doing this line, the flex direction. You just don't see it. And it's setting all of this, Speedo Girl, Turtle Guy, Mr. Cool, etc. It's setting those. And Anna, BT Dubs, if you can send me an emoji, just your favorite emoji. I can make the fourth one with your name in it. So we're setting all of those to the direction of row, but because we're saying flex wrap, and then we're giving, well, instead of saying width 25%, let's set content wrapper to have width 100%. I like that better. Kind of, maybe, I think I like that better. It's not. There we go. Okay, so let's show off the trick. Let's do it. So now at this point, Oh, I need to rename the headers so that you actually know that something's changing. This one is going to be Speedo Girls header turtle. Woo. Mr. Cool Boy. I think it was capital C, lowercase b. And let's see if we have another one. Yes, I love the kissing one. I send it all the time. Okay. Copy that one, and it's Anna Codes. Awesome. Let's go back up to this tab 4, get rid of it, and Anna capital codes. And Anna Codes. Whoa. Hey Yuri. Header. I really honestly don't know. Is it Anna at? And then I don't add another S? I'm really, really bad at the apostrophes. Okay, so header that. My H1s aren't updating. Sometimes CodePen does this. It generally means there's a bug, which there is. What? Okay, I'm obviously not missing a comma after that, so I messed up somewhere. I'm famous. Yeet. Yeet. Okay, let's see. Scroll, push, scroll bang. Find the bug. Find the missing semicolon. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Woof. What did I do wrong? I'm actually going to refresh. Woo, that's not the hotkey. There we go. We got at least that updating, but I think we still have a problem. Did I like not close something? Okay, let's make the font just a little bit smaller. Make our example just a little bit smaller, and so that we can see more. Are you still hiding it? Okay, so it's still highlighting up here, which makes me think. See, sorry everyone. I know it's painful to look for syntax errors on stream. Box sizing border box, that's fine. We've got our reusable CSS variables, sassy variables. Why are you angry with me? Border radius, that looks fine. Display flex, we actually don't need flex direction row. I was just using that to talk about what we're doing. White space no wrap, background color orange. This looks fine. Odd. I have no idea. I have no idea. So at this point, it's like super boring, but I literally just start grabbing CSS and commenting it out. Undo. So let's grab everything that doesn't belong to us. The top part, which I modified a little bit, but we'll comment it all out. Hey! So the problem is up there. Okay. Whoops. Okay. It's not actually something wrong with the import though, because I just commented that out. So yellow, is it because I'm using this variable? Surely not. I'm going to go ahead and move our variables up to the very top, but I know that that should not be the problem. Bump. Okay, keep going. Oh, I'm putting white there too. Sans Helvetica, that's all fine. I could get rid of overflow scroll. It's because I'm selecting everything. No. What did I do? Let's get rid of center. And let's get a frame. Still have the error. Let's get rid of import. So it's actually mad at the import line. I don't understand what's wrong with it. What are you so mad at it? Invalid CSS. Expected comma. It's kind of Anna. I'm responding to Anna's. She's saying it's a really cool way of debugging stuff. It's kind of like my last ditch effort. And even I'll do this in JavaScript of like, okay, at least get it to a working state, and then I can find out, whatever I just commented out is obviously the problem. Okay, so expected comma after. So I'm going to go and look at whenever we click on open template and open that in a new tab, I'm going to grab this import, and I'm wondering if the way that they format, because I know I use the format CSS button, I'm wondering if it broke. It did, because I didn't change this import line at all, but I do like to click on this format CSS, and it looks like it formats the string to where it breaks it, which is because it's adding spaces. Okay. So be aware if you're using CodePen and you like to use the formatter. Wow, that's fun. Okay, so I'm still going to use the formatter. So it's going to break this line again and again, but I'll at least have the commented version here. All right, back to business, bringing in our iframe, blah, blah. Bringing in our center and our reusable variables. I'm actually going to move those because they don't need to be at the very top. Usually my variables will be like in their own file, and then I'll import that file in. But I'm actually just going to put them at the very top of our styles, which is on line 32. That's where our styles start. The rest of it is just, if you missed it, here to basically create the stage that 100 Days CSS Challenge uses, because they only want a 400 by 400 demo example that they can highlight. Okay, we don't need that anymore. Back here, let's go. Oh, it's still yelling at me. Hang on. Is that an old bug? Another fun thing with CSS CodePen is sometimes it just doesn't update, and you're like, I did write that line, and it just doesn't update. Okay. I did not think it would be this painful to get past this point. We've lost some styles. Let's check out my markup, shall we? Make my font just a little bit smaller for the moment being so I can see it all. So I've got my 4 inputs. There are radios. And then inside of that, got to define the variables before you use them. Gotcha. So it is because I used yellow up above. I always think it's going to be like JavaScript, where you can where you can essentially define it at any point, and then it'll run it on its second pass through. Thanks, Total. It's kind of annoying because I wanted it down below, but fine. Fine. Okay. That goes to that wrapper. Div content wrapper. Yes. Okay. So now I think we're ready. Finally, maybe question mark. Header. These headers are too big. So we're going to go down and give our headers a little bit of styling. Any guesses as to what font size that is? Like, my guess is 32 pixels. Okay, so inside of content wrapper, we're going to talk to each ones and say font size 32 pixels. Uh, 20. I need to see them change. There we go. So 32 is what they were at. And also they are way too chunky. I'm blanking on it. The thickness of a font. Font weight. Wow, that took. Woof. Is it? Thanks, Anna. Yeah, font weight. What is this? Open. It's Open Sans, right? Yes, 700 and 300 are the two that we're importing. So let's do 300. Hey, Ethan, it's going good. Welcome to the stream. Today we are working on the radio button trick / hack that you can do in CSS. Okay, that's a little bit too light. Okay, Open Sans, Google font. I'm going to find out what weights Open Sans has, and then make our import have one more, because regular is 400, 300, 600 looks about right. Okay, so we're gonna go back over to our import statement at the very top, and we've got 700, and then let's add 600 to that, and let's go down to our header and give it 600. Better. Okay, I'm fine with that for now. So the goal is, and I'm actually going to put our inputs back so that you see visually what's going on. So what is Code It Live? Code It Live, hi, welcome, is a Twitch channel where me and my coworkers at Progress, we're dev advocates for different things. I'm an Angular dev advocate. My friend TJ is a React dev advocate. And we work for Kendo UI products. But Code It Live is our place to come and code throughout the week. Live, which, as the name implies, we sometimes do all day streams. Like last week, we had a 7-hour stream that we gave away a Switch Lite and like 8 Amazon gift cards throughout the day and did some trivia. So we sometimes have big events like this. Every Wednesday I get on and do React Wednesday, and I do UI Wednesday, and I think TJ does React Wednesday. But yeah, it's just a place for us to come and do some coding or talk about soft topics sometimes throughout the week and do big events. So right now we are doing the 100 Days CSS challenge, which I'll put the link back in the chat. But we are on day number 36, and if you have never seen this before, it is a way to create basically tabs or modules or whatever you call these without JavaScript. And so we're about to make that magic happen. So we've got our tabs here. When we click on them, they click on the label, they make the corresponding input, which you can see up here. They make that checked. And so what we want to do, sounds great. I'll have to look at it. Yeah, thanks for joining in, Ethan. So what we want to do is go ahead and call out and say, we're going to do this the very bold. We want to say, okay, hey, tab 1, when you're checked, and Speedo Girl, when that tab is checked, go ahead and give the enye. So the plus button is the immediate sibling selector, and the enye is the, make my font a little bit bigger, is a sibling selector. So something that's after tab 1, which after tab 1 is our content wrapper, which I think is class of content wrapper. And then we need to actually, I need to fit everything on screen. And so we're selecting, hey, the sibling content. Ooh, the sibling content wrapper, and then we want to display the thing with ID of content 1. And so we just do space ID of content. Woo. 1. Okay, so this is where the magic happens. This line is the magic in the CSS. So it's really important to understand what's going on, because we're going to do this for every single piece of content. We're saying when tab 1 is checked, or tab 2, 3, 4, when they're checked, make the corresponding content visible. So at this point, we're going to say we would hide, or we will hide all of the content by default. And so we'll just say opacity 1, and then why are you mad at me? I don't know why you're mad. Tab 1 checked content wrapper. Oh, it's because I have ID and class here, which is like not a thing. Save. Cool. So by default, let's go ahead and set everything inside of content wrapper to an opacity of 0. Now, whenever Speedo Girl is checked, so tab 1 checked, we want it to have opacity of 1. So let's see what I did wrong. ID of content 1, content. Double check all my spelling. Let's see. Oh, time to hydrate. Thanks, Turtle. I don't see the redeemed on StreamYard. Also, hi, OXTUQ. I don't know how to say that name. Oxtuck. I don't see the redeem points on StreamYard. So we need to create a bot or something that passes it over, or puts a message in chat or something. Okay. What is wrong with this? Tab 1 checked. By the way, are you going to work through all 100 challenges? I'd love to. I do this every Wednesday, though. So just by that math, there's one challenge every 100 days, but because I only do one a week, that means I'm skipping 6 challenges. So maybe I'll like double up, but it would be fun. It'd be really fun to do them. I'm also leaving space for collaborating with friends or talking about UI problems that people have out in the community and trying to tackle those live. So the goal isn't just to get through all of the 100 challenges, but if we do, then we do. It's really fun. I freaking love this website. It's a fun place to like refresh, or even to start learning from the beginning of like, how do you do that? And it's really cool to see everyone else's submissions as well, because there is only one way to do this with CSS, right? With the radio buttons. However, other things, there's often like 12 different ways that you can implement something. And so it's really fun to go and look through the submissions and see how other people thought to create it. So freaking love this site. Okay, let's see what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to just open up my inspector. And I'm wondering if it's because I'm putting opacity 1 on the content and not the content wrapper. So I think what I have to do is I think I need to select the actual... Yeah, I think I need to say class of content. I need to select the same element is what I think is going wrong. So I'm going to say content, and I'm going to spell it right. And I'm going to say opacity of 0. So we should see those headers disappear again. And now when I click something that isn't Speedo Girl, the header goes away. So this is the trick. But right now we only have it working for 1 tab. So let's go ahead. We're just going to copy this line. And on the next one, we don't need to do it multiple times. If you are new to CSS, we can just have different selectors. Yeah, there are, Anna, you're totally right. So there's too many ways of doing the same thing. It's also it's kind of one of the like painful things whenever you first learn CSS, but it's also one of the beauties about it. I think it's a really creative outlet. It's like painting or drawing, like just has so many different things that I really is, you're only limited by your imagination, which mine is pretty limited. Okay, let's see if I did that right. So we've got our 4 tabs, and then when any of these are checked, we want to set the corresponding content to opacity of 1. So let's save it. Perfect. I mean, we have issues. For instance, we want our headers all in the same line. So we're going to work through those. But this is the crux of the trick, where really it's composed of like 3 things. So you have, I'm going to close my inspector real quick so we can see what's going on. So up at the very top, you have your inputs. There we go. You have your inputs, and they have matching IDs to the 4s for the labels. And they all have the same name of radio buttons so that they're in the same family. And when you select one, it unselects the others. And then if we keep going down at the bottom, we have our content wrapper that has our 4 different chunks of content that we want to display, our tab pages, if you will. And so having these set up to where, because we can't put our like instinct, right? Our semantic instinct is to go ahead and wrap these inputs in a wrapper. But because of, we want to use the magic of this sibling selector, we actually can't put them in a wrapper. We need this input to be a sibling of our content. And so we say, hey, input of, ID tab 2, when you are checked, go ahead and set content wrapper content 2 to opacity of 1. So yeah, that is the crux of the magic trick. The rest of this, so we've got 30 minutes left. We're just going to be cleaning up our tabs, adding more content, making it more gorgeous. One of the big things is obviously we're going to set our, I think I commented out, set our input type of radio to display none. Save. And I really liked, I know Turtle, you suggested that we do that, but I think I really want to say set the width of the labels to 25% because they're being, as they do, overflowy. And then I want my font size to be smaller. So like, sure, that's probably going to be too small. Or not small enough, right? I don't even know if I should have text up here. Think about it. No, we're going to get rid of the text, the font. Because our header is going to go ahead and mention that. And in the OG, if you noticed, it's either a really short home, about, or it's just an icon. So let's go ahead and just do our emoji. And then we will put the name of the person who submitted that emoji. Woo! Hello, mouse. In the header, which we already have. Save. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So let's put them. Okay, I think what I want to do right now is we don't need the width to be 25%, but we do need some padding around these buds. So let me think. Padding of 5 pixels, maybe? 8. 8 is like my sweet spot. Okay, so padding of 8 pixels. And then we want one of, the first thing I'm thinking of is we want one of the tabs to be selected by default. So we essentially just need to set, I don't know, like the first tab to checked, which is like checked equals checked, I think. Yes. It is on the input. So we need to go here and say, woo. I want one of, yeah, Sweet Girl's header. Perfect. So our content also needs the same background color as our label. Content wrapper. Do I want to give it to the content wrapper? Let me see. No, I think I'm going to just give it to content, div of content. Opacity. Whoops. Okay, so now we have this ridiculousness. We need to address that problem. I mean, yeah, it's not a feature. Okay, let's see. Let's go back over to sorry, hydrate. I was checking on Twitch, making sure no one said anything mind-boggling, but make sure you are drinking water. Okay, so I'm contemplating because we could set our content chunks to be display none, which I'm actually just going to show you what that looks like. So instead of saying opacity 0, display none. Is it inherit? Default? Flex also works. So essentially, you'll see that as I tab through now, they're not stacked on top of each other. I am removing them from the DOM and making them visible. I think it's display visible. 1 second. I'm going to look at the different properties of display. Display CSS. Display CSS. Oh, yeah. Inline. Inline block. Yep. Let's do level. I don't need it to be flexy. So we can do this. The problem with this is, if you'll notice on the one that we're imitating, it fades in and it moves up a little bit, which I don't know how well that's coming through on the stream. But if you go here and look, it is very subtle, but it is very nice. And if we're actually removing it and by saying display none, it's going to be like, I would say impossible or really painful to animate it in, because we'd essentially have to make it visible first, but have it maybe way off the page or something. Anywho, so what I think we should do is probably position it, maybe. Checking chat again. Turtle said, just realized that you can put the labels in a container if you want. The inputs are technically the only thing that need to be siblings of everything. Yeah, why would I want to do that? I guess I could put the labels. Hang on. Yeah, I guess for styling, because the labels are the only thing that is like they're visible, and so we could put them in a container and then say display flex on them. True. 20 minutes left. Let me get this working, and then we can go back and rewrite and give our labels. I really like input label. Like, I like the inputs and the labels that belong together to be near each other. It's just like this thing. But we could just like separate out all the labels, give them a wrapper, and just say display flex row to the labels themselves. And then we wouldn't have to do the wrapping that we're doing and the width 100% for the content. But let's get this working first, and then we can talk more about that if we want to go in that direction. Because we are running out of time. Okay, because I want to get this animation working too. Transition, really. Yes. So I'm wondering if we should just I'm wondering if we should position them. So essentially, get rid of that. So our content, I want to say height. Whoa. 100%. And then if I display block opacity 1, ooh, save, opacity 0 is commented out. I want to move them all up, but I also want content. I want you to be, sorry, I don't know why the height of 100% is not happening. Oh, I'm talking to the wrong thing. Hello. Do I want to talk to content wrapper? Question mark. Let me see. So I think I want to give this background color to the content wrapper. Whoops. Instead of content. So let's go up and do, yeah, that's what I want to do. And then I'm going to give our color, we're missing a color. What color are we missing? Purple. So let's give content the background color of purple just for this moment in our lives, and then we can take it away at the end. So now when we tab through, you can see how big the content wrapper is and the content, which is right now just the header. And I need to keep, sorry if I'm ignoring you. I'm toggling back and forth between the stream and this. So I think we should let's go ahead and position. I think that's our, I'm going to close DevTools out. I think that's going to be our best bet for animating quickly and easily. So let's go ahead and sorry, I'm thinking about how I want to do this. The content itself, I think, is what we want to position. Not the content wrapper. Yeah, let's position the content itself. So we're going to say position absolute. And we're going to say top 0, left 0, because that should be, I think we need to give a width and height to our content, maybe, or our content wrapper. Let's see, content wrapper, width of 100%. Ooh, that purple, it's getting to me. I'm going to change it to black just for a second, because that white on purple is like, okay. Content wrapper. I'm wondering if we gave this like a hardcore, hard-coded 400 pixels by 400 pixels. Just do it. Just don't even ask me any more questions. Doop. And doop. That's obviously too much. Let's try 2. Okay. And then I'm pulling up and set content position, absolute top left. I don't think I need to. Did I get them backwards again? Let's try. Oops. Position, because it should be relative to the parent. Apparently I needed to? Question mark? That's weird. Okay. Fine. And then I think these are needed. Yes. Well, at least width 100% is needed to make it full width. And what the heck is going on? So, okay. So our positioning has worked. We just have, what is it? There's a margin or something. Why are you not touching the tabs? Why you no touch tab? I don't know. What am I? Okay, let's grab. Like, what am I looking at? I have no idea why it's not. Content wrapper. Oh. Do I need to position you? What's below that? There's like, is it a flexi thing? Because this is at the bottom and that's at the top. Display flex, switch terms of a column. Content wrapper is this one. Mm-hmm. Neither of those is what we want. But I think it's a. Sorry, need to check comments too. Let's go to the mall. I don't like giving it a height because I know I could be like, be this tall. Okay, thanks. But I want it to be as tall as I want the content wrapper, which is what we're selecting here. I want the content wrapper to be as tall as it needs to be, but I want it to butt up against the tabs themselves. And I think the thing that's wrapping, if I close this out, let me scroll up. The thing that's wrapping our content wrapper and our radio buttons is called our tab component. And I set our tab component to display flex. And I think what I need to do is say, it's like align items or something. Start or something like that. I need to go and look at the CSS tricks page, but let's get rid of the height first so that it's broken. And are you overflowing? Hidden? Are you overflowing? Yeah, obviously. Display flex position. Oh, it's because I've pulled all of its content out, so it doesn't know how tall to be. Interesting. Well, unless someone else suggests it, for now we're going to stick with giving it a set height because I did take its content out. Which I hate doing that, but it works, as you can see. But we're not animating, or I guess really it's just a transition because we don't need multiple frames. We just need to transition. So let's go up to our, what did I do that on? Is it content? Yes, we gave content opacity 0. So this is where we want to say, let's do it after. Transition and opacity is like through your time, your duration. Let's make it like slow. I don't know. And then ease in or just ease. Let's see what that looks like. It's okay. It's okay. Could be better. Also, we need to get rid of black. The color black here does not aid us anymore. Well, for this moment, we might bring it back. So right now, as we click through, it is fading in. I have a favorite cubic Bezier that I'm gonna throw in for the timing function instead. Let's see. I know who has one. Who has one of those? So let's replace ease with this cubic Bezier and see what that looks like. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hey, bald bearded builder. It's always so hard to say your name. Hey, welcome everyone. We are actually only here for 10 more minutes, but welcome. We are looking at the Radiobutton Hack in CSS so that you can build basically tabs with using nothing but CSS. No JavaScript needed. Thanks for the raid. Welcome everyone to Code It Live. I'm Alyssa, and on Wednesday afternoons, I go over UI Wednesday fun. And so today, of course, we are tackling this insanity without any JavaScript. Thank you everyone for joining. And so here's our version of it. And right now we are working on, and I actually can share this out if you want to play with it or make it specially yours, change the colors and the content and maybe fix the CSS. Right now we have this isn't working. Let's try ease in. We are transitioning the opacity. I know, right? Just a casual. No, so like mainly whenever like I'm moving things on screen, this cubic Bezier, it goes beyond the border of what should be possible just a little bit, creating this kind of bounce back effect with the timing function. And if all of this is nonsense to you, then like just totally ignore it. But if you ever get into like deep down into the weeds of timing functions, you'll find out that you can customize instead of saying like ease in, linear, you can actually customize all of these behind the scenes are their own cubic Beziers with their own numbers and that kind of create that ease in effect or create the linear effect. And so it's much more obvious whenever you're animating something that's not opacity, whenever you're animating something that's moving. I think actually I can find a website, cubic Bezier. There's a couple cool ones. Is this one at cubicbezier.com? Yes. So this is the curve that I'm talking about, and you can preview it here. So literally these two boxes are being animated in CSS exactly the same. They have this same like duration, if you will. And so as you watch them, they should reach the end at the same time. But while they're moving, they move in different ways. And so you can modify cubic Beziers to have different curves, and you can see how it affects it. You can say, I don't want the end to have any curve at all. So it goes really fast in the beginning. Or if I move the curve over to this side only, it should go really fast in the end. So yeah, it's just basically over time how it moves. And this is denoted with curves. And these ease linear, ease in, ease out, ease in, out are the defaults. But like I said, behind the scenes, like if I look at ease out, that is a cubic Bezier like number. So yeah, it is a really handy site, especially for like visually comprehending what's happening. Especially whenever you take like, it's kind of hard to understand when you take a cubic Bezier and then you're applying it to something like opacity. But yeah, cubicbezier.com, super fun. Okay, we only have like 5-ish minutes to wrap up UI Wednesdays. So let's get, I don't know if you noticed the 100-day CSS challenge that we are tackling today. It actually had, if you'll look very closely at the header, we're not just fading it in, but we're moving it just a little bit. Hey, TJ. TJ is one of the fellows that often will be on with me throughout the week. We both have streams on Wednesdays. He's right before me. He's a React and JavaScript jQuery, really anything guru. I haven't met anything that TJ isn't good at, but yeah, welcome, TJ. Okay, so right, we're transitioning our opacity, but you can also say all right here. And let's change down here we're going to basically, we want to fade it in and we want to nudge it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do translate Y. What is it? Transition, translate Y, I think. Transform, translate. Transition is how you animate it. So transform, translate Y, and then we're just going to do like barely any. So let's say 4 pixels. And then we're going to go down to our checked state. So when tab 1 is checked, when tab 2 is checked, that content that belongs to that, let's go ahead and transform, translate its Y, translate its Y. I used to get these confused. Translate just means to move, because you can say translate, you can say rotate. I'm sure there are others that I don't know about. But we're translating along the y-axis. We're moving it up a little bit, and we want to move it to 0. Did you see it? Did you see it? It totally happened. I don't know if you saw it. It was there. Okay, so I click. I see how it's like, it's really hard to see. Let's give the content a background color again. Background color of blue. It's not helping because it's the same color as that back. So if you'll see, we are fading in the opacity, and we are also translating it up a little bit. I look at their styles and I look at mine. I feel like I'm trying to make the Mona Lisa with crowns. That's funny. That makes me giggle. Okay, so let's get rid of that background color again and save. And so yes, this is, I kind of want to know, ouch, I say ouch. I kind of want to know, we're going to check out their CSS, what they're using for their bars. Span width. We're peeking under the covers. So they have H1 of dashboard. Yeah, it looks like they're just building them out from scratch, I think. And it's because I'm zoomed in so incredibly much. Let's go ahead and open theirs on CodePen so I can make the, and as you see, no JavaScript. Magic. Okay, so I think they're just building out their bars in CSS, which is like pretty perfect, I suppose. No? What the heck? Hang on. Bum, 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 bum. Scrolling down to their content. Notifications. Whoa. Yeah, right here. So we've got these styles. So they're being given a width, but who is giving them that color? Something inside of box is being styled. Spans inside of boxes. Yeah. E9, E9, E9. It's not very semantic. Okay. So we're going to take what they did, but we're going to do it in a little bit more of a reusable way. So we're going to take their span styles, and we're going to call them fake content bars. And boop, 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 boop. I don't know why they made them spans. And then this is like my pet peeve. Don't use a span if you're gonna make it display block. Just use a div. And maybe they had a reason. Sometimes, occasionally, very rarely, people have good reasons for this. I don't think they did. But we're gonna, underneath here, this is where we're gonna create these. I'm gonna actually, just for time's sake, go and copy theirs. And so these have different widths applied, so that, as you can see, the fake bar content over here on the right side of the screen is different lengths. It's a very manual way of doing it. Quick, turtle, write me a method that will loop through 5 lines of content and give them a random length. Thanks. Okay. Because I only have like 4 minutes left on stream. Okay. We don't want these to be spans because, like I said, that's why. If you're going to say display block, make it a div unless you have a really good reason not to. They didn't, I don't think. And then this is going to be a P? A paragraph? Really? I guess it's like a fake paragraph. That's weird. Semantically, I wouldn't call it a paragraph, though. I mean, it feels like lying. It's not a paragraph. It's a div. It just happened. Don't know. It's like it input this closing div tag, or does that belong to content? No, that belongs to content. Okay. I'm going to change the closing one first. Div, and then this one's going to be a class of content bars? What did I call them? Fake content bars. Fake. Don't put the period, Alyssa. Content bars. And then we go down here and we say fake content bars div. The div inside of the fake content bars. Beautiful. Okay, it's a little too slow, so let's go back up to, okay, well, before I get too distracted, we need, I will worry that I have too many divs. Do I have too many divs? No, I don't. It's just the tabbing, I guess, that was confusing me. We're going to put, we're going to give everybody some fake content bars. You get a fake content bar, and you get a fake content bar. And these should be randomized. Yes. Okay, so I want, I'm pretty sure on theirs. Yeah, so it's all fading in and transitioning, not just the header. So we need that to happen to content. Who am I doing it to? Content 1. Yeah, I'm doing it to content. Wait. Oh, I'm not giving, I know what's wrong. I'm not giving our content bars an opacity of 0 to start out with. And then I think I need to, no, I shouldn't need to do that. Because I'm saying everything in ID of content 1, opacity 0. Save. So if we go to everything, everything in content 1, which includes these fake content bars, they should have an opacity of 0, which now I've lost seeing them. Sometimes CodePen just, it's not updating the styles. So if you're ever like, why am I not seeing that? I think it is fading them, but I think because they're all the same length, I think you can't tell that it's fading them in. So let's variant. Let's make these variant. I don't know if that's the right word I want. 100 pixels, 200 pixels. Wow, coming up with random numbers is like really hard. 233, 122 pixels, and lastly 100 pixels, just to round it off exactly the same. Save. So now if we go between Turtle Guys and Speedo Girls, there you go. So it is transitioning everything inside of the content, not just the header. Cool. Cool. Well, darlings. Oh, okay. So the last thing, which I'm like 4 minutes over on my time. Yay! I know, right? This is done. So if you are just now joining us and you're like, what the heck? This is done without JavaScript. It is literally just the magic relationship between, so we're using radio buttons right here to build out these tabs at the top, which actually we should go ahead and give the active tab like a different color that is the same color as, yes, hang on. So let's go down to, so input type radio, display none. We want to say the exact same thing. So input type of radio, that is checked. Corresponding label needs to have background color of blue. Woo! I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And we're going to get rid of the blue on, somebody else has blue. I think it might be the iframe. Nope, the iframe has yellow. Who has blue? Tab component? How dare you, tab component? All right, so we're turning that off. And going back to my line that's not working right now. Input, type of radio, that is checked. Corresponding label, background color blue. I think this is overwriting it, question mark? That doesn't make any sense. This is more specific. Don't judge me for this line. Why is this not working? Okay, so whenever I'm like, why is this not working? I always just, as anyone does, opens up the inspector, looks at the label, input type radio : checked. That should all work, question mark. Maybe I need to say only the label right after me. Yeah, that's what I needed. And that's the immediate sibling selector for the win. Okay. Woof. So we're going to give that, yay, turtle came through. Yay, turtle is the best. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're going to go and show you because it's going to be beautiful. But I need to give, instead of orange on the content wrapper, we're going to go ahead and do the same color of blue so that it kind of matches the active tab. That is really hard on the eyes. I'm going to flop it to orange and blue and orange. Cool. Now the active one should be orange. Okay. And let's not be barbarians, but let's give this some margin. I'm sure it's been bothering you. You watching the stream. Yes, you. Padding. I'm going to give it some padding. Sometimes. Okay, so it's not, I'm thinking I'm giving it to the wrong thing. Maybe I need to give it to content. You would think I would know the order of... Did you see? Did you see it animate over? Because I'm transitioning all. And so it just like... That was, sorry. It's not funny, but it is funny. Cool. Okay, so what Turtle Guy helped us out with should be, maybe, showing. Is it showing on screen? Show HUD. Yeah, it's showing on screen. Is a gorgeous for loop. That slow transition. No, you're right. I forgot that it was so slow. Thank you. We're going to change that, like 0.3 or something. Save it on stream. Sometimes it's hard to see the quicker. Yeah, that's better. Sometimes it's harder to see the quicker ones, especially if I'm like dropping frames. But cool. So Turtle wrote a for loop for I through 1 through 5 so that we can randomize the lengths of our fake, what did I call them? Fake content bars. Fake content bars. I'm confused. I've like, oh, there they are. They're right at the very bottom. Woof. So that we can randomize their length instead of like barbarians giving them actual random widths in the markup. Hashtag no judgment if that's the way you roll. But I would definitely, this is what I would do. And I'm so sorry that I'm over on time, but nobody's after me. So is what I say to that. So let's go ahead and go. I think we want to do it inside of this div, maybe. Let's see. Maybe not. I didn't even know you could do for loops in CSS. Yeah, so we're actually in Sass. So if you'll see here next to my CSS, it says SCSS. So we're using a stylized version that lets us do syntactical sugar on top of it, and it gives us things like loops. At, for, from, oops, I need to get my I. I'm not familiar. I am familiar. I don't have this memorized, so I always have to look up the syntax to create a for loop. So we are saying the only bad part about this is that we need to know the number of elements that we're looping through. You could create a CSS variable of like number of like fake. This is really long. You think I was a Swift developer based on that. No, not that. So we could do something like this, and then why are you yelling at me? Oh, it's because I'm not inside of anything. 1 second, darlings. You have to scope it to something. Otherwise, it's going to yell at you. We could do something like this where we had number of fake content bars, and then instead of 1 through 5, we had 1 through the number of fake content bars and surrounded it by the word var, so it interpolates it. And then in the JavaScript, we would go ahead, and I might actually need to do more than just do that, but to make sure it interpolates it. And then in the JavaScript, we could replace that based on the number of bars that we needed. But right now, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. I think we only need 5, so we're just going to make it a static one. But if you needed to vary, that, you could. 1 through 5. So now we're going to call out what is happening. Span with display block. I need to just copy it. So I'm actually just going to go. If only you could see what I was doing. StreamYard doesn't let me, because it's a button, StreamYard doesn't actually let me copy text from comments. So I'm inspecting the button and getting the line from my, which I should just probably keep typing it out. Wow, this is nested. I'm just going to type it out. This is painful. Okay, close the DevTools. Thank you, DevTools, for everything you've ever done for me. Okay. Dankeschön, turtle guy. 1 moment, darlings. Okay. That is so much better than looking at that tiny comment window. So I copied it, pasted it. I was slacked it. Okay. So turtle guy said fake content bars div. Nth child. I'm with you now. Sorry, it was wrapping and it was some kind of tiny font and it was not fun. Width percentage random divided by 100. I love this so much. Fake content bars div and child. I think this will work. Is it actually working? Hang on. I don't think it's working. Because these two, maybe I think inline styles are one of the most potent. Maybe? Yeah, I think so. So I think what we need to do is obviously get rid of these. Otherwise we could add like an important tag, but we're not barbarians. So let's go here and just give empty divs that have no width added to them. 3, 4, 5. And copy those. Speedo girls. Let's go down to, oh wait, I did not get rid of the wrapper. Let's go down to turtles. Thank you, turtle. Mr. Cool Boy, where are you? Anna codes. And that should be it. I think it's working. That problem. Probably should have seen that one coming. Sorry, I'm pulling back up the chat so I can. The comment is blocking your code. Thank you. Is the comment still up? Show hide. Cool. Okay, so it is randomizing them. However, it is randomizing them all the same. Way to fix this. 1 through 20? No. Because I could select. Sorry, thinking. I'm trying to think of how to randomize it between each tab. Pondering. So what I could do is say, instead of 1 through 5, I could say like 1 through the whole fake bias content. It's randomizing them once only, like on page load. Yeah. So on page load, like whenever the CSS first runs, it says, so for I, 1 through 5, and then it gives 1 through 5 a random length. So if we inspect this, it's probably in the one that's showing, but it doesn't really matter which one, but the second one is showing. And so it's giving the first one a width of 17%, the second one a width of 40, third 94, and so on and so forth. But the problem is that it's giving that to the second div in each one. So each one is the same. So I could run this for loop for each one of our, excuse me, DevTools. I could run the for loop for each one of our fake content bars, our content chunks, maybe. Ooh, or just put it inside of another for loop. That's what we want. Any ideas from chat? Because we could. Let's see. Content 1, content wrapper. So if we did it in another for loop, and then inside of that for loop, I need to make my CSS bigger anyways. But then inside of that for loop, we selected, it's like ID content -1. So it would be ID content /I, but I need to interpolate it, I think, question mark. And then I honestly don't think that's how I interpolate it, but we're going to pseudocode it for right now. So this is, this is the idea that I have for, what the heck did I just do? I don't know why it's making it so ugly. So but I think it would have to be Turtle. If I want to say, if I want to use the index number, or yeah, if I want to use the index number, first of all, are we starting with 0? And second of all, I don't think we are. And second of all, how do I interpolate it in line like that with the ID? Because basically I want to say rerun this inner 1 through 5 loop each time. I think this will work if I can only figure out how to interpolate. Oh, it's working. Really? Really? That worked? That's rough, Bob. That is rough. I have such little faith in my ability to write CSS. Okay, well, I think I'm going to post this in the chat, yo. I'm pretty happy with it. I wish it was today's CSS challenge so I could actually submit it. But again, if you have never heard of this website, they have 100 days of CSS challenges. And if we go to the results, you can kind of cycle through each day. I think last week we did this cloud one, which is really cool. I think it was day 33. Yeah. So we did this cloud one where we're moving them across the sky. But yeah, there's 100 days of challenges. I like to use it as something I do every Wednesday to just kind of walk through and see how it's created and put our own flair on it. But do send me yours. I'm at Alyssa Nicoll on the Twitters. Do send me yours if you followed along and made your own, because I want to see them and I love you all. But I will be here next Wednesday. I don't think Code It Live has any big events coming up for now, but check out our schedule. We sometimes, like about every other week, do all day streams where we have shenanigans, prizes, and more. So looks like an awesome resource. Yeah, no, it is. It's a really cool resource for practicing. And the other fun part is just seeing what others created, how they did it, checking out their CSS and seeing what they did differently. So well, thank you all so much for your time. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. I don't think anybody has a Wednesday morning anymore. Probably be a Thursday morning. But whatever it is for you, I really do hope it's great. And I'll see you next time on Code It Live. Thank you all. Mwah!